North Bay native Rob Shaw is swinging into the new year with a head of steam. The para-athlete, currently training in British Columbia, has his sights set on Japan for the Paralympic Games in the sport of tennis. Our Clarke Heipel has this in-depth look at the Tokyo 2020 hopeful.
North Bay's Dave Innes continues his push or pull to qualify for the Canadian rowing team for the 2020 Paralympics in Tokyo, Japan. Another local athlete is looking to qualify in the sport of tennis. 30-year-old Rob Shaw was born and raised in North Bay, and he is currently living in British Columbia, back home for the holidays, however, and he shared his desire to represent Canada in Japan this August and September.
I mean, it's a massive goal. I mean, we've been pushing really hard for that for the last 4 years. Lots of training, doing two-a-days, getting the proper coaching around us, the proper support networks around us. And we're there now. We're in the hunt. You need to be top 12 in the world to get direct access, and we're number 9 right now. So going forward this year, we have to maintain that ranking going into June. That's the cutoff date for us. So it's going to be a grind for sure. We still have probably 7 or 8 tournaments to play before we know. But it's going to be a dream come true. I mean, Tokyo is going to be the biggest Paralympics in history. They've already sold out all the courts, all the events. So we know that the crowds are going to be massive. The media is going to be amazing. And I can't wait to experience it.
Now, Rob, what sort of challenges does tennis pose when you're restricted to movement in a wheelchair? What sort of challenges are you facing?
Yeah, I mean, you're using your arms for everything. So you really can't take any pleasure in watching the ball at all. You're immediately hitting and turning around, not facing the court and recovering. Whereas in the stand-up sport, you're constantly facing the net. So you're always aware of what your opponent's doing. You're aware of where your ball's gone. In wheelchair tennis, you don't have that luxury. And then also your hitting zone changes completely. Stand-up tennis, you're hitting between your waist and your shoulder height most of the time. In wheelchair, you're hitting above your shoulder almost 80% of the time. So you're having to adjust the technique you use. The stroke development's different. The tactics are fairly similar, actually, as far as moving your opponent around and mixing in a combination of high balls, low balls, and different spins. But definitely the movement patterns and just getting used to not watching the tennis ball is tricky.
One man who knows a thing or two about tennis is North Bay Granite Club GM Bobby Ray. He is a longtime friend of Shaw, and he voiced his support at the press conference earlier this week at the Homewood Suites off Oak Street.
A lot of pride beaming from our club and surrounding Rob and all the members that have been a part of our community for a long time. Going back to the days where Rob was our tennis professional and he was coaching our adults and our kids and running camps and inspiring local people. Even though he's not in North Bay, that's continued through this journey.
Shaw's determination and dedication to the sport is exemplified in this painting by North Bay legend artist Jack Lockhart. He gifted this painting to Shaw as a pledge of support for his quest for Tokyo.
We have followed Rob's career, just like all of us here in North Bay. Anybody involved with the sporting community certainly has watched every single move he's made. Because if you've played in any sport, I don't care what sport it is, you realize the commitment you have to make to get to the stage where Rob is at. And not too many people in this city have ever gone that far.
In this painting, I see focus, determination, and ready to strike. Is that what you wanted to really capture in this moment?
Yes, I hope it did capture it, because one thing you want to have is always to capture the determination that a person has, and I think there's no question what we're seeing in the commitment that Rob has in that painting.
Speaking of commitment, Shaw shares his travel plans this year.
I'll be competing for 2 tournaments in March in the United States, then going over to Korea for 2 tournaments in April, going to Japan in May, Portugal in May, Israel in May, and then Belgium in June, Switzerland in June. So it's a full schedule.
I hope he collects his air miles. Reporting for Cogeco News, I'm Clarke Heipel.